And we are live. You guys will have to excuse us for that little bit of delay. We were having just a little bit of technical difficulties. As I said in the note, we need a tech troublemaker here to help us sort it out, but we are here. We are here. We are here. Hey, Leona, it is always good to see you and have you with.
Hello. This is wonderful. We have been so busy thinking about you all and Thanksgiving. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, on today's episode of Homemaking with Purpose, I am once again, for those of you who are new, but for those of you who come with us every week, I am once again joined by Miss Leona of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme in the Kitchen. And today we are giving you your Thanksgiving game plan. That means we're giving you a timeline on what to do first, second, and third. And this is actually in response to a poll that I put out on the community tab a few weeks ago. And people said this was the one that people said they wanted most. So Miss Leona's put together a timeline. We're going to be pulling that up in just a minute. But if you follow our game plan, you should be just fine.
Mhm. Absolutely. You're going to be ready for Thanksgiving.
And by the way, if you missed our two previous shows on Thanksgiving preparation, you really missed out because we had a great time, did we not?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I think everyone had a great time, not just us, but all the people who were in the chat.
Well, exactly. And they learned so much. So the
Mhm.
first show we did was keeping Thanksgiving affordable. And
Mhm.
then the next week, which was last week, we talked about preparing the Thanksgiving home, prepping your home for Thanksgiving and guests. And I'll show you a couple comments we've had in regards to that. And tonight, we are covering how to get ready for the meal itself. So if you missed those episodes, we will have them linked in the description box. And this episode is showing up on my channel as well as on Leona's channel. So if you're here from Miss Leona's channel, hey, how you doing? And if you're on Miss Leona's channel, or rather if you're from my community and you're over on her channel, hi.
We're glad to have you. Glad to have you. This is going to be a great evening.
Right. So we're going to get started with a couple of comments from previous shows. So let me just pop those on the screen because I just thought it was kind of interesting to see what people had to say or what people had to ask. And so the first comment I wanted to share was from Amy Schmelzer. And this particular comment was from the poll that I put on the community tab asking what was their favorite side dish of the 5 dishes that I had picked. And she said that her favorite one was GBC or green bean casserole, but not the nasty mushroom soup variant. She says her family has made a version with sour cream.
Mhm.
And she said that it was um, actually placed on, um, is it all recipes?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So that's where she said it was. So I thought I would share that and let you guys just kind of see. This is her grandma's green bean casserole. And you can see right here, recipe by Amy. And it shows how to make it. And in this one, you do not use the cream of mushroom soup. You use sour cream and some other things. So I wanted to show, oh, let me show you the recipe again. Here's the recipe. You got your butter, your flour, but instead of cream of mushroom soup, you've got a cup of sour cream, and then you've got your French's
Green
onions that you
French
put
fries.
on top of that. So you've got French style green beans in it, and
Mhm.
then you typically top it with French's French fried onions, but I don't see those in her recipe. I,
No.
but she says that it's better than the one with the cream of mushroom soup. So I just thought I would share that because, I'm always open to trying something new.
Yeah.
And then we've got Jean who said she misses her mom's dressing or stuffing, but her family's favorite is praline sweet potato casserole.
Mm.
Ooh,
Mm.
love praline. That sounds good.
Mhm.
And then we've got Gems of Grace said for her it's between mac and cheese and candy sweet potatoes. So again, these
Yum.
are responding to what they liked best. Now,
Mm.
this person, Butterfly, says that personally she likes sausage, cornbread stuffing the best. And stuffing wasn't even on that particular list. That's going to be on a list for maybe the next couple of days. And then Cindy says her favorite again is actually stuffing or dressing. And
Mhm.
she's never had mac and cheese at Thanksgiving.
What?
That's
Oh
something
my
that my
goodness.
little niece Zari, when she passes out, she goes,
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
cannot believe she's not had mac and cheese at Thanksgiving.
I can't either. I think if mac and cheese isn't on the table, it's going to be a fight.
It's gonna be a problem. You gotta have it for Thanksgiving, Cindy. You'll love it. And
Hmm.
then hear from Ida. She said that actually she hates holiday fare. She
Oh.
prefers sweet potatoes without added sugar. She
Hmm.
despises green bean casserole and stuffing, and leftovers hang around too long. I just had to laugh.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yes, but she did have a reply back from Amy, and Amy said the key is to serve what you like. And you talked about
Hmm.
that last week, Leona.
Hmm. Hmm.
Serve what you like and make your own traditions. And she said long ago she cut out certain traditional foods because her family didn't particularly care for them and don't even ask why they're not on the table.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah. So she finished up by saying if nobody wants to eat the leftovers, then cut the recipes in half so that there aren't any leftovers.
Absolutely.
I thought that was great advice.
Yeah.
And then we have one of our new homemakers, our new brides, your new home cooks.
Oh.
Pampered Pretty Pleasures says, hello, ladies. I've watched the replay and she looks forward to whenever we do a collab. We're the Thanksgiving duo. And she feels we're amazing. And she says she's thanking us for the helpful holiday guide. She says she's newly
Oh.
married. She got married just a year ago and trying to combine family traditions along with her husband's and attempting to create their own. Because we do encourage our young homemakers to create their own tradition with
That's
their
right.
own immediate little nuclear family as
That's
they
right.
embrace their family's traditions.
That's right.
And she says, though, but by listening to us, she has seen that you can combine the families under one roof, that it is
Mhm.
possible if you plan ahead. So I
That's
just thought
right.
that was just so sweet.
That's so sweet. Mhm.
Okay.
Aw.
And then Rachel Vidal said,
Mhm.
this was 5 days ago. She says she's glad to see canned veggies on pre-COVID prices again. She's going to stock
Mhm.
up. And we talked about that last week and the week before. Right now, veggies are what?
They are really reasonable. In fact, I went in Walmart, Walmart today. They had canned corn and canned green beans for $1 a can.
Oh, that is
And I
good.
mean, they had tons of them, and people
Mhm.
were buying them by cases. So they were evidently following our advice on stocking up on their
Yeah.
veggies.
And now is the perfect time to do that because this is
Mhm.
probably the lowest they're going to be all year is at this time of the year. So yes, so I'm glad that they're doing that. And then Natasha Kemp, she joined us last week and the week before. She was kind of new
Mhm.
to us, and she just thinks we're wonderful.
Aw,
I have to agree with her.
absolutely.
And then she wants
Thank
to
you.
know where she can find a copy of our holiday guide. So your holiday guide is going to be here
On
on
my
your
website.
website, and then you can talk about it again when we come up. But I
Absolutely.
remind me to pop this up on the screen. But it is
Mhm.
also in the description box of this video.
Yes.
Okay. So let's come over here to comments. Looks like the chat is hopping.
It's hot.
Yeah, we've got quite a few people saying hello, but I think before we start saying hello to everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started because I've been talking almost 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So what I'm going to do is try to make it easy for them to see your holiday guide. So I put
Mhm.
it into a PowerPoint.
Okay.
So Here's your holiday game plan, ladies and gents, if we have any. And I thought what we would do, first of all, is start with the menu. And Leona, you talked about that. So let me have you go ahead and talk about that first.
Well, absolutely. Basically, what I usually do, and I really encourage my young homemakers to do, is to start with your menu. Because the nice thing about that is that, first of all, it gives you directions as to what your plan is. And then from there, you can start to look at who's coming and all those kind of things. Plus, if you don't have a menu in place, it's very difficult to ask, as you invite people and they have certain signature dishes that they love to bring and prepare,
Mhm.
then you can start to check those items off your menu. And you will see that your menu, as far as what you have to prepare, gets shorter and shorter. And it's nice to know also how many people who are coming so that you can say what size dish you would like for them to bring. So
Mhm.
if you have a substantial amount of people coming, then you might request that they, at least if they're going to bring casserole, that they bring a 9 by 13 and be specific. Because sometimes when you just say, oh, would you mind bringing the macaroni and cheese? Well, they may show up with a little macaroni and cheese that's about this size. And you're thinking, okay, we need to be a little more specific because, it should not be just enough to serve your family, but it needs to be able to serve everyone. So those who are cooking need to know that you're depending on them to make that portion for the group. And so, as we were looking at our Thanksgiving menu, we tried to make sure that we gave you options as well. Because as you look at the salad, I know Miss Denise likes her mom always did a green salad. We usually have a 7-layer salad, so I put both of those there, so you have an option.
Mhm.
Um, I like the Southern style green beans, and
Ooh.
Miss Denise likes the green bean casserole, or she has someone who prepares a delicious green bean casserole. And so that gives you options. And, too, if you're going to do those green beans, now's a good time to not only because the fella at the store that I went into today, I went into another store. I went in, I took pictures, I did a lot of things today, but I know they thought I was crazy, but he was in the process of filling up the vegetable area in the freezer section. And I was asking him about, do you have so and so? Do you have this, that, and the other? And he just stopped what he was doing and started carrying on a conversation. And he said, he said, my wife and I actually purchased all the vegetables that we think we're going to need for both Thanksgiving and Christmas now. He
Boom.
Yeah, I was amazed. He said, because if I wait until before Christmas, I won't be able to find it. And he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
So those things, if you have a freezer that you can stick a little extra into, once that turkey comes out of the freezer, it frees up an awful lot of space. So that's a good time to add your veggies into the freezer. It also gives you refrigerator space for your casseroles, your collard greens,
Mhm.
and we had options of corn and corn pudding. Either way, whichever you decide. And so we just wanted to make sure that you had a well-rounded menu. Now, obviously, when we got to the desserts, oh, girls, we could hardly control ourselves.
No, we couldn't.
We had to include everything we liked. So I said apple pie. Denise said, "Oh no, we need a cobbler." And so
Well, I
we
was thinking it would serve more people. You put cobblers in like a larger pan typically. And of course, you got to have pecan pie too.
Yeah, and you got to have a little bit of apple pie, apple cobbler left over so you can get all the outside and all the crust. Ah, So good. Your sweet potato pies, your pumpkin pies, and my family loves banana pudding. Now, for some of you, you might think, well, that's kind of a summer dish, but it
No,
goes back to what we were saying. You prepare what your family likes. And
exactly.
so that's why we threw in the banana pudding. Now, for those of you, as far as beverages, we were thinking, we had iced tea. Iced tea is very reasonable.
Very economical.
You've spent a ton on everything else. So your beverages can be reasonable. You got iced tea, something that you can prepare several gallons of.
Mhm.
Fruit punch, you can throw together a quick fruit punch. They'll look pretty. And, if your family prefers to have these things in addition to other beverages, my response is always, okay, well, you can bring your own. When it comes to, bring your own extra beverage and or something that you might want to spike these beverages with. And so that's on them, not on me.
Right.
And so we just have to, excuse me, be careful too and look at our family mixture.
Hmm.
What's best for our families?
Well,
When
when it comes to spiking things,
Mhm,
like if I'm having a big holiday like Thanksgiving or Christmas,
mhm,
I typically won't have any alcohol served just
mhm,
because we have a family member with a history of alcohol, um,
mhm.
abuse.
Okay.
So, and she's doing much better with that, but it's
Mhm.
just easier for me not to have that there so that I don't tempt her. Now, she says it's not a problem, but it's just easier for me just not to have it. And then I don't want to have to worry about saying, okay, kids, you can't get into this punch. You can only get into this punch. Whatever we have out is out for everyone.
For everyone,
I
for
will always
everyone.
make a wassail bowl, which is
Mhm,
an
mhm,
apple cider punch every year at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
mhm.
And that's the only time of the year that I make it is Thanksgiving and Christmas. And you know what we didn't put on the list was our family fruit salad, but everybody doesn't have that. But that's a
That's
tradition
good.
for our family. We
Mhm.
have fruit salad that we only make at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh.
So, and I think I was telling you once before that my youngest son, when he took his senior year abroad in the UK, the
Mhm.
students that were there from abroad, they couldn't go home at Thanksgiving time. So they all carried in, and he said some girls from Laos carried in salad that was almost exactly like our family fruit salad. And we were just,
How about that?
yeah.
Oh,
So I'm kind of curious as to what do they like to have on their Thanksgiving menu? You see what we have on ours, and you can tell that one, Miss Leona and I are very similar culturally to a certain degree. But then
mhm.
on the other hand, she's from Virginia and the Carolinas, and I'm from Indiana. So whereas she makes corn pudding, that's not something I've ever made. But I
Mhm.
love it when I go away and somebody has it. I just love that.
Absolutely.
And seven-layer salad is something I do enjoy when I go away and somebody makes it. It's
Mhm.
so good. But it's not something that I typically make for my family. So what kinds of things do you guys like to make for your family? Tell us that in the chat. And while you guys are typing it in, I'll click to see who said what and we can say hello to a few folks.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to take this off this. Well, I don't think I have to take it off yet. So there's Hillary saying hello.
Hello.
And then Kimberly is saying hello. And Tamara is here. So
Hello,
glad to have you here,
hello.
Tam. And two warm feet. I just love that little
I
icon.
I like that.
Thank you for coming back again this week. There's Nita B. And
Absolutely.
Rebecca is saying hello. And of course, you're saying hello to everybody. And there's
Mhm.
Terry and Judy. Oh, wow. Hillary says we look good tonight. Thank you.
Aw.
Um, And then the cordial corner is saying good evening as well.
Aw.
So she says she likes mac and cheese. And then she's also saying that that's how her family makes stuffing. And Amanda said she never had mac and cheese at Thanksgiving either.
Wow.
So that is just amazing.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
hey, Victoria, let's see. So evidently, Aldi's has butter for $2. I might make a run by there tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hillary thought that you can get the canned vegetables a little bit less at Kroger, so we'll have to check that out as well.
Okay.
And and then Vicky says she's very specific with the details if she needs someone to bring a dish. Because I have had the person show up with a bowl of corn that only feed 4 people, and we got 20 people at dinner.
Me too. Me too.
So let's see. So Stephanie says she always makes her cranberry sauce from scratch. She thinks it
Oh,
tastes
yum.
good, and she can make it diabetic friendly. And then
Oh,
she always
okay.
makes. Oh, wait. She makes enough to have at Christmas. She freezes it. I didn't know you could
I
freeze
didn't know you could
it.
freeze it. Oh, I'm gonna have to check into that, Stephanie.
You're gonna have to tell us more about that. Put a little
Yeah.
comment in. You're gonna tell us more about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Deb says they have a big variety of breads, and then the Grands
Mm-hmm.
must have dirt dessert. I wonder what is dirt
Oh,
dessert? Is that like a Oreo
that's
all kind of crumbled up?
yes, yes. You know, it has a little worm in there,
Ah,
little gummy worms.
yes. Okay.
Not for us.
Yeah, no. So now Cordial says mac and cheese, yeast rolls, banana pudding. Yes, Carolina.
Mhm,
So yeah, she's from maybe she's from the Carolinas as well.
mhm,
Loves corn pudding,
mhm.
as well as collards and red velvet cake. Oh yes.
All right, I forgot about that red velvet cake.
And then Terry says instead of collards, she likes mustards mixed with spinach.
Okay.
Jerry, hello. I am so glad you're able to join us tonight. Thank you. I hope all is well with you.
Mhm.
And then Living Natural says
Potato
potato
salad.
salad, mac and
Yeah.
cheese, fried corn, homemade cranberry sauce, and cornbread dressing. Okay, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and let us get started on the timeline since
Mhm.
we have talked with a few people, and we can come back in a bit and to see what other people are having. But let me go ahead and just for those of you who have just joined us, welcome to Homemaking with Purpose. I'm your host, Denise Jordan, and with me is our co-host, Leona Dooley from Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme in the Kitchen. And we are giving you your Thanksgiving game plan so you don't feel overwhelmed and intimidated on hosting the big day. And
Mhm.
as always, this episode of Homemaking with Purpose is brought to you by Apron Diva. Pretty and practical, we believe an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. Okay, so let's take a look at. Oh, I don't want to show that next. Let's take a look at the timeline. So here's the timeline that Miss Leona put together, and this is linked in the description box.
Mhm.
And let me just see here.
And it's also on the website.
So this is, and it's also in the website. So
Mhm.
this is the website. If you wanted to go and try to grab that while we're on, you can, or you can grab it later. But this is the link for that, and it is in the description box. So several weeks before Thanksgiving, we already talked about deciding what you were going to prepare, make your menu, and then look at, what you want guests to bring. And she says, as the host, the turkey and stuffing is for you. And you want to go through the rest of this, Leona?
Sure. After you've decided what you're going to prepare, then you're going to create your grocery shopping list, and I also attach that to the website as well, so that you can put the grocery list with everything you need. Then you're going to check your pantries, draw a line through those things that you do not need, because at this point you want to avoid duplication if you can. Now, if you run into spices that have been sitting on the shelf for 2 years, then you might want to reconsider purchasing some fresh ones for Thanksgiving and buying a little smaller size so that they won't hang around so long. For those of you who like fresh turkeys, this is a good time to order your fresh turkey and set up a date for you to be able to pick that up. And of course, if start shopping now, because this is a time to be able to pick up those sales. And the managers specials are out on the end caps. They're everywhere.
And the other
But
thing too is they got them on sale now, but the
Mhm.
week of Thanksgiving, the sale is off.
That's right. That's right. This is a good time even to prepare your cornbread for your dressing. And I would say prepare extra, because you want enough for your dressing or your stuffing, whichever that you do. And also, you can even go ahead, if you want to have little cornbread muffins, you can go ahead and do those. It's just a matter of storing them, wrapping them well, putting them into the freezer, and keep them in a safe place. And also, you want to make sure that your house and your kitchen are clean.
Mhm.
And if you're having guests and there are rooms that aren't used, then go ahead. Prepare your guest rooms and your entertainment rooms so that you're not at the last minute trying to run around and get your cleaning done as well as trying to cook.
Absolutely. And we talked about my printable 21 days to get your house ready for the
Mhm.
holidays. That's also linked in the description box, so you guys can grab that as well too. And you were talking about making the cornbread a couple of weeks before. I tend to make mine a couple of days before just because I want it fresher. When I've frozen cornbread, I haven't always been pleased with the way it came out. But the
Mhm.
other thing is, like you said, you got to be able to put it somewhere safely. So you've
Mhm.
got to have somewhere to put it when you do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now
Well,
we're looking at that Saturday before Thanksgiving.
yeah, Saturday before Thanksgiving, you want to do your last grocery shop, hopefully, and pick up your non-perishables and some of your perishables even. Make sure that you have your serving and your cutlery items. This might be a good time to go to Costco or to Sam's or BJ's and start to pick up your paper plates and those kind of things if you're going to use that.
Mhm.
And or you may even get them earlier, but make sure that you have them already on hand. Be sure to buy more than what you think you'll need. This is a good time too, that Saturday before Thanksgiving, especially if you have anywhere from a 15-pound turkey and above. Take your turkey out of the freezer, your turkey and your ham, put them into your refrigerator so they can start to thaw. And you want it to thaw safely.
And
And
see, that's the thing too. So many people, if you wait too late, and I have done this, I've gotten the
Mhm,
turkey out like 3 days before, and then
mhm,
Thanksgiving Day, it wasn't thawed out. So now
mhm,
I got it in the sink, running water on it and trying to, running water through it and trying to pull
mhm,
out the doggone innards because they're still frozen. So I
mhm,
like the fact that you said take it out the Saturday before so it can begin to thaw out
mhm.
safely. You don't want to sit it out on the counter because then
Oh,
you
no.
will allow bacteria and different things like that to grow, and then you can end up with some food poisoning. So I really like the fact that you emphasize to place it in the refrigerator to thaw safely.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, let's see. So we're looking at the Saturday before. So anything else you want to touch on there? Or are we ready to move on to
I think
Monday?
we're ready to move on.
Okay.
That Saturday before too, just think about, we've talked about cleaning the house, but that Saturday before might be a good time just to really give your kitchen a good look over. And
Mhm.
also to, if there's any decor that you haven't put out at this point, that might be a good day to be able to do that. And at that point, then you can decide whether you're going to make it more uh, winter holiday-ish or
Mhm.
whether you're going to leave it as fall.
Right. Okay, so now it's Thanksgiving week. It's
Mhm.
Thanksgiving week. And so on Monday and Tuesday, one of the things that both of us suggested that you want to make dishes that can be prepared in advance. So when we take a look at that menu and we're looking at what are some things that they can prepare in advance, I'm
Mhm.
thinking, like on Monday, I might make my cornbread on Monday so it
Mhm.
can sit on the counter and dry out so that it's
Mhm.
ready to use on Tuesday. You
Mhm.
don't want to use moist or hot cornbread because that will make your dressing heavy. So you
That's
need
true.
to have it to dry out. So I like to make
Mhm.
my cornbread on Monday. But then when you set also your congealed salads, that's like your
Mhm.
jello salads and different things
Mhm.
like that.
Those are good salads to be able to do. And your 7-layer salad has to be done at least 24 hours before you plan to actually serve it. So
So
between
I make that on Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday, you might want to do that 7-layer salad and put that together. But as far as your casseroles are concerned, between Monday and I would say by Monday and Tuesday, you want as many of those casseroles put together as your time will allow, and it's a good time to get your desserts taken care of between really those 3 days. But specifically on Wednesday is where you want to set up your dining room or wherever you plan to serve. Organize your buffet, get
Mhm.
your tables, have your chairs in place. And Wednesday, you want to make sure that you have ice. And I was looking at some stores on Thanksgiving Eve or even shortening their hours.
Oh
So,
yeah.
think about that. So don't wait until even those stores are going to be open those days. But who wants to have to run around on Thanksgiving morning to go out and go grocery shopping? You
Exactly.
want to make sure that you have everything there at your house.
So when I was looking at our menu and I was trying to think, okay, if I'm following this game plan, what would I want to make first? And I thought maybe I could even cook my collard greens on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
You can get those. It number one, it takes a while to cook them, so they're going
Mm-hmm.
to occupy space on your stovetop. But I thought I would get the collards cooked on Monday, and then I can put them in the fridge or the freezer. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter either one,
Mm-hmm.
because freezing just kind of gives them, just makes them taste a little bit better.
It does.
And I would get the mac and cheese done on Monday, and then that
Absolutely.
homemade cranberry sauce. Get that out of the way, get it done. And now it sounds like we might be able to make it ahead of time and freeze it,
Yes, I
and we can
love that.
sooner than we thought.
Yeah. I
And then
think
you could be maybe prep your veggies. If you don't make your dressing on Monday or Tuesday, you could
right.
start chopping those vegetables. Now I know you like to chop your veggies way in advance and put them in a storage container.
Uh-huh, I do. I do. I put them actually in water, and I put them in a container, put water over it, and they stay perfect. They don't turn colors.
Okay.
Put just a little squeeze of lemon in there, and they will hold their color. But the nice thing about getting your onions, and your celery, and those are two things that it seems like you go through a ton of for
Mhm.
Thanksgiving. So when you're buying, be sure to especially early in the month. I've already started picking up the onions, and I know my husband thought I had lost my mind when I picked up 4 bags of onions. And I said, well, we have holidays.
Yeah.
And so I will take 1 bag and chop and cube, little teeny tiny chop.
Mhm.
1 bag is going to be sliced. And so, but that gives you options of having those vegetables ready to go. Because in addition to preparing for the holiday, remember, your family has to eat every day.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. They do. Yeah,
So
they
you're
still
gonna
need to
need
eat.
your this is a good time for those little one-pot meals to be able to get those out there and to, be able to serve your family
Mhm.
while you're still getting ready for the holiday.
So when I back up for a second,
Mhm,
I take a look at our menu, then, like I said, I'm going to try to make those collard greens, that mac
mhm,
and
mhm,
cheese, the cranberry sauce on
mhm,
Monday and Tuesday. And then over here on the desserts, if I've got pies and things like that, if I'm going to make them, then I might try to make them Monday or Tuesday and then just
mhm.
refrigerate them. But if I'm purchasing pies, then I might leave them in the freezer until Wednesday.
Right, right.
Then I would take them out on Wednesday and then set them out so that they could begin to thaw out. Now, I like to brine my turkey. Now, I'm going to ask those who are
I
on
do
with
too.
us, do you brine your turkey or not? I put mine into a wet brine, and I
Mhm,
brine it 24 hours in advance. So that means on
mhm,
Wednesday I need to put it in the brine, so Thursday I
mhm.
can get it out to put it in the oven. What do you do, Leona?
Now I have apple cider mixture that I put together, and I brine mine, and I actually put it in on Tuesday
Oh,
and put it into the brine so it stays in that brine until late or early Thanksgiving morning,
hmm.
and put it into the oven, and ready to go.
So
But
you put your turkey in the oven at what time?
I usually put my turkey in probably about 2 in the morning,
Okay,
and so that when we wake up, it's done. It is done.
okay,
Mhm.
okay. All right. So then Wednesday, if you got pies, you're going to get those
Mhm.
out of the
Get
freezer,
them done.
brine
Mhm.
the turkey, or start getting it prepared for whatever you're going to do. And then now usually Mickey Blue Skies will make the sweet potatoes, so she'll
Mhm.
try to make those on Wednesday. But if
Mhm.
not, then she'll make them early Thursday morning. But then it's just
Mhm.
her, so she's not competing with oven space for anything else.
Right.
I'm making things and I'm competing for oven space. I'll get those sweet potatoes made myself on Wednesday and also get that potato salad made on Wednesday so that all the flavors can just meld together and be ready to go on Thursday.
Mhm.
And then the green bean casserole, if you're going to do that,
Yeah, I typically do if I'm gonna have some type of green bean casserole, I do that, the day before. So
mhm,
I would do that on a Wednesday. The Southern style green beans, I can actually do on Tuesday and,
okay,
go ahead and prepare them and have them in the refrigerator where I just have to take it out, put it into a container, and let it come to temperature.
mhm,
So they're done.
okay,
The corn pudding, however, I do not do way in advance because corn pudding has a tendency to have quite a bit of liquid in it.
mhm,
And if it sits too long, it's going to get over liquidy. And so I usually actually prepare the corn pudding that Thursday morning.
Thursday morning. Okay. All right. So now then these are some of the things we're looking at. So now we're gonna let me just go back here. So now we've done the Saturday before. So
Mm-hmm.
now we're looking at Wednesday. We talked about what we're going to do. So in addition to any make ahead dishes that you didn't make on Monday or Tuesday, make those on Wednesday. So the
Mm-hmm.
dressing you can put together, or if you don't put it all together, you can certainly have all the veggies chopped, have the cornbread and all that stuff, ready to go. And you could actually put it all together with the exception of the turkey drippings.
Yes, yes. And as long as you have your giblets, you can go ahead and make your gravy.
Hmm.
Those are things you can have out of the way. And if you want to add some of the juices from the turkey once it comes out, you can certainly throw that into the gravy. But the major bulk of the gravy you can have done.
Okay, okay. I tend to wait and make mine on Thanksgiving Day after I've got that turkey out of the oven or
Mm-hmm.
it's almost out of the oven.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get a few juices out and out, some drippings out, and then I'll do that. So, okay, it's Thanksgiving Day. So we're in the countdown for Thanksgiving. So it's Thanksgiving Day countdown. So if we're planning to have, say, dinner at 3,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm one of those who put my turkey in the oven that morning. I don't put it in the middle of the night. Maybe I should start thinking about that. But I put mine in first thing in the morning. I like to have it in no later than 10 o'clock. But 8 o'clock is good. If you can get that turkey in the oven around 8 o'clock on Thanksgiving morning, and then while the turkey's in the oven, it's going to take up quite a bit of space. So not much else or anything else is going to be going in there. And you know what? Sometimes 8 o'clock could be problematic because, like you said, you got to feed your family. So somebody, and my husband is definitely going to be like, "What's for breakfast?"
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now that's something I have that I'll be bringing out, put in the newsletter. I have a breakfast casserole that will come out in the next newsletter for Thanksgiving morning, and that way they'll have a casserole that
Mhm.
they can put out. It looks nice, and serve it maybe with some fruit, some bread, and you're good to go. But
Mhm.
it's not a lot of not a lot of work. And it's one of those that you put it together and it sits overnight.
Hmm.
So you prepare it on Wednesday, let it sit overnight, and Thursday morning you just bake it. So that's a good thing to have, especially if you have guests that
Yeah,
are
the
in your
other
house.
thing too, I think you mentioned this last week, is
Mhm.
having like a little breakfast station set up
Mhm.
that are quick and easy. For example, when we were at my son's for last Thanksgiving, they had like little a station set up where they had little cartons of yogurt and bagels and little um, quiche,
Mhm.
breakfast quiches, and then
Mhm.
juice and little miniature muffins and things like that that people could just grab and go. So you could have something simple like that set up that morning as well. So away from the stove, but
Mhm.
so that you can get to where you need to be, but have a little station set up so that they can get to that and you can go ahead and do your thing. Otherwise, it might be 9 o'clock or 9:30 before that turkey goes in the oven. Then that's just pushing you further back. So I
Ab-
like to try to get my turkey in around 8 if at all possible. And then also those casseroles that have been in the refrigerator, I'm gonna get them out of the refrigerator now. As soon as the turkey's in the
Mhm.
oven, I'm gonna get those casseroles out of the fridge and set them on the counter or on the stove so they can come to room temperature.
Yes, because the cooking time is much shorter when they're room temperature.
Okay. And so then I was thinking that between 9 and 11 o'clock on
Mhm.
Thanksgiving morning, then you can prep your appetizers. And I see you've got there
Mhm.
for Thanksgiving morning, prepare your appetizers. So between 9 and 11, get those appetizers made. And you could also make your salad at that time as well, too.
Mhm. Mhm. And we usually keep our appetizers for Thanksgiving. Uh, Really, I guess our breakfast is more like brunch,
Hmm.
so it kind of falls into the brunch, but also goes into the appetizer as well. So we've got fresh veggies and fresh fruit and cheese and crackers. But it's something. Remember, we talked about quite a bit of homemade on Thanksgiving, but
Hmm.
then a lot store bought. So, you that's where you pick up your nice like brie. You can do
Yeah.
brie with a nice topping and have that ready. So everyone has something to nibble on, but it's not something that you have to prepare.
Right. So now we're still looking at your 9 to 11 time slot. And what I want you to notice too, ladies, is that I said 9 to 11 so that you have a range of time in between that you can work on things and not necessarily be as very specific. But so once you get that salad made, you might also think about setting up your beverage station. If you've not already set it up, now is the time to, at least if you've already like got your different punch bowl and things like that in place, now's the time to bring out the punch or the different things and put them in the bowl. You might not put the ice in there just yet if you're concerned
Mhm.
about watering it down, but you can get some of that beverage station all set up so that it's prepped and ready to go when your company's coming. And I always make iced tea, but sometimes I wait to the last minute. So now I'm taking iced tea and sitting it out on the patio, letting it cool off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've done that.
I've done that too, especially if it's a very cold Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
Our porch ends up as the cooling station for
Hmm.
beverages.
Well, there's been times when I've just taken that pot of iced tea, take it outside, sit it in the snow with the
Mm-hmm.
lid on it, and that'll cool it down real quick. Then
Absolutely.
when I bring it in, put it in the pitchers and different things that I want to serve it in.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also a good time to pull the wine bottles. I didn't say open them, but if you're serving wine, you could pull them, set them in place wherever it is you want them to be, get all that stuff out, and then set up your dessert station. Because if you took your pies out of the freezer the day before or your cakes or whatever, you could get them sliced up and put them on the dessert station, get that covered with a cloth or something. So
Mm-hmm.
that's out of the way, and then get started on those mashed potatoes. So I would peel my potatoes and then get the potatoes, have the potatoes cooking. And while they're cooking, I would start any other dish that has not yet been prepared.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The rolls, if you're going to purchase rolls, then I would not, plan on actually baking them
Hmm.
until maybe the last 30 minutes, just before
Okay.
everybody comes in. And I hadn't looked to see, but did you give us a time frame for our home cook for her to be able to leave the kitchen long enough to go and freshen up?
I did not. I did not. You're right. I did not. But you're right. Well, you know what though? Um, you should have everything done by 2 o'clock. So let's say if you're serving
Absolutely.
dinner at 3, so for 2 o'clock, well, 2 o'clock I put set the tables if they're not already done, and
Hmm.
then begin to set the food out on the counter. But before you start putting the food out on the counter, you could run up and then freshen yourself up and
Hmm.
then come back down or come back out to start getting the food actually on the counter wherever it is you're going to serve it and getting it sliced up. Your turkey probably should have come out of the oven between 11 and 11:30 if you got it
Right.
in at 8.
Yes.
If you
And they
got it
need
in at
about
9,
30. Yeah.
yeah, and if you got it in at 9, it's going to be closer to 1 o'clock when you get it out. So you'll just have to shift what you're doing just a little bit.
Hmm.
But yeah, I forgot to leave the point for them.
Yeah, we have to take care of the cook, and
Mm-hmm.
if nothing else, just to give yourself a chance to, to go and breathe for a moment
Mm-hmm.
before the moment, before
Mm-hmm.
the event. And it's so nice to be able to go, and you've probably already had your morning shower before, probably before you even came down, but it's just nice to have that moment to yourself, to regroup
Yes.
and freshen yourself up,
Mm-hmm.
change clothes, and get ready to come down into the kitchen. And so, for me, it tends to give me a fresher outlook on what I'm doing. And, guys, one thing to keep in mind: keep a running list of the things you need to do. Most of us think, and I can remember this point, I thought I could hold it all. And
Mm-hmm.
I would come down. I knew I had this, and this ready to go. Write it down. Write it down. Have
Yes.
a little scribbled note where you can just kind of go down that list and make sure that everything's been scratched off, because invariably there will be something that's left in the refrigerator or
Mm-hmm.
left in the freezer that you forgot about.
Yeah.
And so, there's no shame in the game to have a little checklist for yourself, just to make
Mhm.
sure that on Thanksgiving Day you're ready to go.
You know, something I like to do in that regard too is like my sister Lavina will usually show up early to
Mhm,
help get some things done. Or my sister-in-law Margaret, one of them two will usually show up early. And
mhm,
so then I'll say, okay, so just look around and see if I've forgotten anything or what do
mhm,
I need to do? Or can you help me get this out? Because they usually come maybe a half an hour to an hour early, but
mhm,
that's the time that you're going to want to start actually putting the food out on the counter so
mhm,
that it can be ready to go. And if it has to be warmed up, and there's always somebody that shows up with their food that, oh, it's got to be warmed up and you got to put it in the oven or in the microwave. So you want to be prepared for that as well. But I
absolutely.
will have practiced where on the counter I want things to sit.
Mhm.
But once I come back down, then I can just start doing that, or we can just start getting some things out.
Do
But
you
one
put little Post-its out on your counter
I
where
have
you
been
can?
known to do that, or sometimes I'll
Mhm,
put a placeholder dish there. So, okay,
mhm,
so the turkey's going to go here, and the so and so is going to go here. One of the things that you mentioned last week that I thought was a good idea was to slice the turkey ahead of time.
mhm.
And I
We
used
we
to
do
like to
that all the
be
time.
out whole just so people could say, oh, honey, I got over that real quick because it just
Yes.
slows things down.
I didn't, I can remember those days early in our relationship, that I just thought the turkey had to be brought out, and that the big guy had to, on Thanksgiving, carve the turkey. It was the thing to do.
Mhm.
And then after a while, he would come through and say, "Can I just go ahead and slice this now?" You
That's
know,
my husband.
He
Like
was over it.
the turkey, just get it done. But I like the idea that one of the ladies gave us about slicing the turkey and putting it in a crock pot or putting it in
Mhm.
some kind of a dish that can be kept warm with juice on it so that it
Absolutely.
stays moist.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
like that idea. And then also the ham, I forgot to mention the ham. Once you
Mhm.
get that turkey out, you can get the ham in, or as you suggested, slice the ham off that spiral ahead of time,
Mhm.
and you can put it in the oven and it'll heat up a
Mhm.
lot quicker when you
Mhm.
don't have that bone and all that you're trying to warm things
That's
up with.
true. That's true. And we keep ours typically in a crock pot. The
Hmm.
slices in the crock pot and, just kinda put some of the au jus over it and,
Hmm.
keep the ham nice and warm.
And now tell your little secret about when you warm up your oven, your rolls, and then we better check the chat because the chat is hopping.
Oh, now last week we talked about the rolls. And what I like to do is to have one designated crock pot, usually a smaller one, but I cover it with a kitchen towel, a nice kitchen towel. And I put it on warm, or if you have a low, whatever they're low or warm, either one. But I go ahead and bake the rolls, put them into the crock pot. I don't put the top on it, and I just cover it like you would if you were going to put it in one of those little bowls for the
Mhm.
rolls
Or a
where you
basket.
have the baskets. Then you just cover it with a towel, and they stay nice and warm until everyone
Yes.
has gotten through. And then you can just refill as you need to.
Okay. All right. So now let's check the chat because, as Walter used to say, the chat is hopping. So let's see. So Nita says they have creamed potatoes with gravy in addition to green beans, corn, mac and cheese, and homemade potato rolls.
Mm.
Vicky says turkey, ham, barbecue beef tips. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
you get hungry.
yum.
Mac and cheese, potato salad, cornbread dressing, the yams, rice and giblet gravy. Okay.
Ah,
Collard greens with ham hocks, green beans with potatoes, and cranberry sauce.
ah,
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
that's delicious.
Jerry says they're having a fried turkey this year. She makes a
Ah,
lot of vegan and diabetic friendly options. Okay, I
okay.
like that. Akila says her grandma always made homemade cranberry sauce and she would freeze hers too for Christmas.
Hmm.
We're going to have
Is
to
there
give that a try.
is there anything special that you have to do to it to freeze it?
That's a good question. So,
Mhm.
Akila, or I can't remember now who it was. What is there anything special you need to do to freeze that cranberry sauce? Inquiring minds want to know. Oh, there's
Mhm.
Michelle is here. Desserts. I'm
Apple
getting
pie.
hungry just thinking about it.
Oh my goodness, Vicky.
Oh, pound cake. My cousin Chi Chi always made a count pound cake. Yes.
Yum.
Wait, what? Sarah said she put a deposit on a free range turkey that cost $140.
Wow.
Okay, so if you got a free range
Alright.
turkey, it's going to be fresh. So she needs some bacon
Okay.
tips. So we'll come back to that, Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah, don't let me forget, but we'll come back to that.
Yes.
So Jerry's got to make some diabetic
Mhm.
sensitive dishes for one of her daughters.
Mhm.
And Michelle says she's trying probably not to make too much this year because she's in charge of table settings and they're going to have dinner at the park. Oh, that sounds like
Oh,
fun.
that's nice.
So I think Stephanie was the one that said her grandma froze
The
um,
cranberries.
the cranberries. But it's
Mhm.
easy to make. Put in as many cranberries as you want. Grate some orange peel, some fresh OJ, add some sugar,
Mhm.
and yeah, sounds good.
Ah. Well, that sounds good.
So Michelle's not bought anything yet. She's in charge of plates, silverware, and napkins. Oh, well, you got it easy, but you want to buy them while they're on sale. So
Yes.
right now, Hobby Lobby and Michael's and those places have them on
Mhm.
sale. Next week, they may not be. So let's see. So she says when it's completely cooled, you can freeze it. Just set it
Ah,
in the fridge the day before.
okay. Okay.
So Hillary's going to make a turkey breast and then order honey baked ham. I love honey baked
I
ham.
do too.
So Jerry says last year she made the homemade cranberry sauce from me and it was a big hit. So she's going to try that again. I do have a video where I made that. I forgot about
Mhm.
that. Okay. Oh, so Vicky said she used to make potato salad the day before Thanksgiving, but
Okay.
noticed it would have water in it. So now she makes it that morning. That makes sense. I get it.
Okay. Okay.
I get it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the grocery store busy and bare by 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving
Mhm.
Eve. So Terry does not brine hers, and then
Okay.
Vicky never brined hers, but she's been
Mhm.
thinking about it. So
Now, for those of you, let's ask for those who do not brine, what type of do you do a dry rub or do you just do the salt and pepper, whatever seasonings, butter, and let her go? What do you do?
that's a good question. And do they turn it upside down in the pan
Mhm.
to keep it from drying out if they didn't brine it? So that's a good question.
Mhm.
So look at Tam. Does anyone feel like a rookie? No,
Oh, of course not.
no. We've done 40 plus Thanksgiving. So we just got a little bit of experience under our belts. You guys
Yeah.
one day.
But we've tried just about all of it.
So Michelle's setting up a game table for
Oh.
checkers and Othello. Okay, that sounds
Mhm.
good.
Mhm. I'm sure you got Uno in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so Michelle says she started buying smaller solo cups instead of the large ones because people left a ton of half drunk cups. Yes, and if you
Mm.
buy water bottles, get the small 8-ounce bottles instead of the big ones
Mhm.
because people leave half filled water bottles.
Oh, yeah. They will waste them.
Hmm. So Vicky says for Thanksgiving morning, they will have cinnamon rolls or Pillsbury buttermilk biscuits, something quick and simple,
Mhm.
and then proceed for the feast later on. Yes.
Alright.
Do that. So, what time does everyone usually have dinner? And that's a good question because depending upon when you're having dinner determines when you're going to put that turkey in the oven. And then you want to work backwards from there, unless
Mhm.
you're one of those smarty pants people who makes their turkey overnight. Or some people make theirs the day before too.
That's true. That's true. And, those who make it the day before, they probably do what, we were talking about, where they slice it, put a little bit of juice on it, have it in the pan, and they just put it into the refrigerator and take it out, put it in the oven to warm it up.
Hmm.
So, which is very convenient. And if we were catering, that would certainly be what we would do
Hmm.
rather than taking that turkey out at the same time. So that works out well. That works out well.
Yeah. So what time do you have dinner? We will usually have dinner around 4. I'll
Yeah.
say 3 o'clock, knowing
Hmm.
that everybody ain't gonna get there till 4 o'clock. So, but I will say
Absolutely.
dinner around 4. And typically our family has always had dinner at 4 because when I was a girl, one of my aunts always worked on the holidays, and she got off
Hmm.
work at 3 o'clock. So we always had
Hmm.
to wait dinner till Aunt Theresa got there for
Hmm.
4 o'clock. So when do you guys have dinner?
Well, we say 4, but
Mhm,
usually by the time we're actually eating, it's probably 5, more like 5.
mhm.
But because we do have people who are coming in, they've got dishes, and invariably somebody's casserole didn't finish on time, or we'll say they didn't put it in as early as they should have. And so their casserole comes. And I mean, and for those of you who have to travel with casseroles, save an Amazon box for
Mhm.
that casserole so you can sit it in that box to travel. I have lost a casserole every now and then, about once every 10 years, or even a crock pot, of where we've had to make a turn, somebody has stopped. So I typically start to collect a couple of Amazon boxes so that I can put them in the car to sit those dishes in if you're actually taking your dish. But we shoot for 4. We
Mhm.
have appetizers, and then by 5 o'clock we're saying the blessing, and everyone's actually getting ready to eat.
Okay, I just saw over here that somebody was saying, let's see. Oh, well, Vicky's talking about the game she likes to play, but
Mm-hmm.
Michelle says they usually have dinner at 1, but this year it's going to be at 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tam says usually around 1 or 2.
Okay.
And Nita says 1. So a lot of people have early dinners.
Mm-hmm.
And Vicky around 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I see that. And then Vicky says she utilizes the post-it notes to kind of put them in different places so you know where you're going to set things.
Mm-hmm. You
Hey,
see, Dia, there's D. You see, Dia was, she said, we're making her hangry.
I'm so hungry right now. It's ridiculous. Let's see. So Stephanie says her husband is in charge of the turkey and he's very practical. So he cuts that bad boy up before she gets any ideas. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right because my husband likes to, like when he's ready to cut it up, he wants to cut it up because once he gets that cut up or before,
Mm-hmm.
he'll be busy bringing out the chairs and putting up the tables in the
Mm-hmm.
family room, and kind of him and my son, they'll be moving furniture and that kind of stuff. And we do that at the last minute because, of course, we live in the house. So we'll start doing that probably around noon or 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
He'll start doing all that kind of stuff. So he wants to get the things he's got to get done out of the way and
Mm-hmm.
done. So sooner is better than later.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Uh, No, and I've watched At Home with Nikki and I've seen her Thanksgiving prep before, but I don't have a lot of chafing dishes and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of stuff that I did have, I've given away because I just don't use it anymore. Like all the silver and stuff I used to have, I gave it away because I don't use it. But
I got tired of cleaning it.
well, yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
I put things in casserole dishes and set them out on the counter. Oh, Stephanie says when you let it cool, put some cling wrap on top of it inside the container. I guess
Mm.
that keeps it from getting that frost all over the top.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Terry, dry rub and then turn it upside down.
Okay.
So cordial corner brines.
Mhm.
D does butter, seasonings, fresh rosemary and lemon back in the oven bag to stay moist. Okay, I
Okay.
have oven bags too.
Oh yeah, those oven bags are amazing.
Nita turns hers upside down, uses
Mhm.
butter. Terry, dinner between 2:30 and 3.
Okay.
Vicky, roasted breast upside down.
Mhm.
Makes her own garlic and herb butter rub and puts it on there.
Okay.
Oh, I already told that was D's.
Mhm.
Oh, her and now Stephanie says her husband smothers the turkey in a compound of butter with herbs and puts some inside. Yeah,
Mhm.
I was watching a turkey cooking video just the other day, and that's what they did.
Mhm.
Okay.
Ah.
She says they eat at 4
Okay.
and 2 warm feet. I forgot what she said her name was. Was it Sandra? But she says they eat at 3. Okay. Oh, so now Vicky does what you do. She puts an apple in the cavity
Mhm.
of the turkey. Helps make the
Mhm.
turkey moist. So sometimes I put apples, lemons, and oranges inside the cavity
Yes.
of the turkey. And you said you like to do apples, Leona?
And I do apples. I do apples, and I pour an entire what is it? A quart of apple cider over the turkey and in the pan, and then I cover it,
Oh,
and it makes the best gravy in the end that comes out.
apple
It is.
cider.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I might have to try that.
It is so good. The gravy's delicious, and you just have to add, your roux to it in the end. And I do it right, everything right there in the pan. Once I take the turkey out and prepare the gravy right there.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I had put some stuff on the list that I forgot to mention. So as far as making the gravy, I'm going
Hmm.
to start making that gravy as soon as I get that turkey out of the oven, if not a little before, because I might go into the oven and just get some drippings out to make the gravy.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
otherwise, I'm going to use some of the drippings off of the turkey.
Hmm. Did you know that you can prepare your roux in advance? And
Yes,
hmm
I just never thought to do that, but you're right. You could have that all ready to go.
oh yeah.
But yeah, once I get that turkey out, though, I'm going to make the mashed potatoes. And then the thing with the mashed potatoes is they cool off so quick. So you'll want to have them sitting somewhere where they stay warm, either on top of the oven, inside, just somewhere you can kind of keep them warm. And then you can set them in the oven again real quick just to let them warm up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll make that gravy between 12 and 2, and then
Okay.
have it sitting in a pot with the lid on it so it
Mm-hmm.
can stay warm, or I can heat it up again if I need to, because I've got my turkey drippings out now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get the butter out and let it sit out at least by 12:30, 1 o'clock. I
Yeah.
want to get that butter out and let it sit on the counter so it can be soft enough to spread on those wonderful rolls coming out of the oven.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're going to be so good.
And you're doing these things between 12 and 2 o'clock so that
Yeah.
you're on your timeline. Get out your extra condiments,
Mhm.
extra salt, pepper, hot sauce,
Mhm.
steak sauce, whatever it is that you need. Get all those extra
Mhm.
things out and have them ready.
Definitely you had here to set out your butter.
Mm-hmm.
I try to remember to do that, and I do it early in the day.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I see butter, it's kind of like, okay, let me take it out now.
Yeah, or I'll
And
forget.
so it is nice and soft and ready for those rolls, because there's nothing worse than having ice cold butter and nice hot rolls.
Absolutely. So now we're at 2 o'clock and everything should be pretty much ready to go. So that gives you
Mhm.
time enough to go and freshen yourself up and then be ready to go.
Yes.
So now let's back up and answer the
Mhm.
question that I think it was Sarah had about turkey. She's getting a fresh turkey, and I've only cooked a fresh turkey once or twice, but she was wondering if we had any tips for her.
Well, I guess what she'll have to decide, if she wants to brine or if she wants to do a dry rub, and she can do either. She'll basically treat the turkey the same way she would as a regular turkey. We're just starting with ours frozen and we've got to thaw it. But once he's thawed, it's going to be just like her fresh turkey. And so, it's going to take equally, the amount of time that it would normally take. And, I would probably, since it's fresh, she could probably just do a dry rub
Mm-hmm.
and add her butter and all that good stuff to it and have that ready to go. I would put mine inside of a roasting bag, a turkey roasting bag,
Mm-hmm.
and bake it in there so that it holds all its moisture and comes out nice.
Yeah, I agree with that. My roasting pan has a lid on it, so
Mm-hmm.
I use that. But I have
Mm-hmm.
been known to use a roasting bag, and they're just nice to kind of keep them moist. The other thing that I like to do is I'll pour about a quart of chicken broth or a quart of water in the
Mm-hmm.
bottom of the turkey roaster
Mm-hmm.
so that as the turkey is cooking, the
Mm-hmm.
heat from the water now becomes steam and it's
Mm-hmm.
constantly bathing that turkey in the steam. So you don't have to be taking that lid off and then letting the heat out to baste it quite as much.
Right.
But someone mentioned how their mother will make like a some kind of um, herb butter solution and
Mm-hmm.
slap the turkey in butter. You can either do that or you could get the butter, make that butter rub, and then put it underneath the skin of the
Under the
turkey
skin.
so that it's
Mhm,
going to soak into the breast. And then on top of that, spread it
mhm,
all over the top of the turkey breast.
mhm,
And then, of course, I like to set mine on a rack of carrots, onions, and celery, and I set the turkey on top of that, and then maybe throw in a couple lemon slices, stuff that
mhm.
with some apples or lemons and
Apple
oranges.
lemons. Mhm,
Not stuffing. I just want to say the U.S. Department of Agriculture does not recommend
mm-mm,
stuffing a turkey anymore. So
mm-mm,
it used to be you'd have stuffing at Thanksgiving time, but
mm.
people now have dressing, which is the casserole you have on the side rather than inside the turkey. Why not inside the turkey? Well, because so many people are ending up with botulism or other kinds of
Mhm.
food poisoning because right there in that cavity, sometimes it doesn't get fully cooked enough.
That's right.
So if you do stuff the turkey, you are encouraged to scrape it all out that day. Don't
Mhm,
sit in the turkey and put it in the fridge. Nope, scrape it all out of the cavity that day.
mhm.
But make your dressing on the side rather than stuff. And when you put those apples and
Absolutely.
oranges in there, it's a different kind of thing. And then you don't eat those anyway. But
Right, right. You're just gonna throw those away.
mhm.
But and also those who are new, the celery, the carrots, the onions, and all those things that are on the bottom of the pan, you're not going to eat those either. Now, my son, when he does his, he actually takes those and he blends them into his gravy.
Oh, what a good idea.
Yeah, he has this, the rosemary, fresh rosemary, all that stuff is in the bottom. And so when it's time to make the gravy, he takes all of that and puts it in the blender along with all the drippings and the stock, and then he blends it, adds the roux to it, puts it on the stove, and lets it finish up as a
Mhm,
gravy. So then it's not only delicious, but you have a little nutrition in there as well.
mhm.
And it's a very pretty color. The color
And you
comes
could certainly make enough gravy for Thanksgiving and Christmas
out.
because
Absolutely.
you're gonna have a lot of gravy. You could make it
Hmm.
once and freeze it, and it'll freeze nicely. And
Hmm.
then that next holiday, you just have to take it out and just let it thaw out and give it a good whisk to make sure it's all
Oh,
empty
yeah.
poured up. So yeah.
Well, and plus two, guys, you want to think about the fact that you might want to do a after Thanksgiving casserole with all of your fixings from the day. And so if you do that after Thanksgiving casserole, then you're certainly going to want some of that gravy to be able to pour over it and to bake that casserole.
Hmm. Okay, let's see here.
Mm.
So let's see. So Vicky says she may try the freezing the cranberry sauce.
Hmm.
And then Bessie says she loves this. Thanks for the great tips. Bessie, that's why we are here.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, so now Dee says her family prefers table style serving rather than buffet style. Well, Dee, how many people do you have at that dinner? I'm just curious. Oh, and I'm just sitting here waiting for her to tell me. Then it dawned on me she's not.
She has to respond.
So let us know how many people you have at that dinner. Two warm feet is Tracy. We have to remember that.
Tracy. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Dee, try adding the apples and the oranges
Mhm.
to that turkey. It'll taste really good. Hey, look, there's Joe. She joined us tonight.
Oh.
Let's see. All right. So Michelle said they used to do table style, but their family is too big now. And yeah, our family's too
Mhm.
large to do table style.
Ours
You'll
too.
see on TV sometimes they'll have this family at the dinner and the table's like 20 feet long and all these people are sitting there. How are you even going to get the food passed up and down the table? that kind of thing. But yeah, we put ours on the counter in the kitchen, and I'll
Mhm.
have it all spread out on the counter and some, on the table, and then people come up and serve themselves. I just don't know any
Mhm.
other way to do it.
No, it makes it so convenient.
Hmm. Uh, so living natural, and I forgot your name. She
Mhm.
salt brines overnight and then marinates in a cooking bag with wine, olive oil, garlic, leeks, aromatics, and seasoning. Mm.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Hmm. So Michelle says they're having 25 to 30. So
That's
this
about our
year,
number too.
25 to 30, we're
Mhm.
going to go to Georgia this year for the holidays. So we're probably expecting probably about 30
Mhm.
people there as well, because we've got our side of the family plus my
Audrey.
niece's, her other side of the family. So there's going to be quite a few of us there. Oh, Joe, you're probably going to be by yourself. If you can at all possible, Joe, join some friends. If you don't have
Yeah.
friends that you want plan to connect with.
Mhm.
Oh, now Brenda said she puts the butter out as soon as she wakes up. That makes sense.
That's a good idea.
Hmm.
That's one of those things you have to put on your checklist.
So, Living Natural, tell us your name because I have forgotten it.
She
But
is
Sarah,
Audrey.
Audrey,
Mhm.
Audrey.
Mhm.
So she's from your community.
No, she's actually from yours, but I just happened to see it down in the comments.
Oh, okay,
She
okay.
typed it in.
So Sarah, this is for you. So Audrey says she only cooks a fresh turkey, and she definitely does a wet salt brine.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. So Sarah says she wants to brine. So okay.
Okay. Okay.
And then Vicky says get that butter under the turkey skin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, misses her grandma's homemade gravy. Homemade gravy is the best.
It is.
Vicky says dressing, never stuff the bird with stuffing. Yeah, you just don't do that anymore.
Oh,
So we already answered this question.
mhm.
Uh,
Homemade gravy and homemade cranberry sauce. Oh yeah.
Kathy says one year she made turkey broth. It was the best broth she ever made.
Ah,
Yeah. Oh, there's her name, Audrey.
Audrey.
And
Mm.
Jeanette, it's been a while, I think, since you've joined us. Leftover turkey slices on jalapeno cheddar bread. Ooh,
Oh, yum.
yeah. I love the Thanksgiving sandwiches. I used to watch on the Food Network or the Food Channel.
Mhm.
I can't remember what, but they start showing Thanksgiving shows. And then every year they would show like recipes from
Mhm.
different like restaurants or places like that, or like little bistros. And there was one little bistro that always made what they called the Thanksgiving sandwich. And people would want like that
Mhm.
sandwich that tastes like Thanksgiving. And they would have like the bread with the turkey, the dressing, the cranberry sauce,
Mhm.
everything on it. And they would sell it in this restaurant. So I thought, I
Yeah.
love that. I even have a video where I made that.
Yeah. Pioneer Woman has a recipe for that as well. And
That's right. I saw it. Yes. So Joe, yeah, go ahead and make one of your
mhm.
grandmother's recipes, because even though you may be having Thanksgiving by yourself, and you
Mhm.
could certainly invite a friend over to join you for the day, because there's probably
Mhm.
somebody else that's going to be by themselves. You
Absolutely.
are certainly important enough that you can make Thanksgiving dinner for one or for two if you want to have a few leftovers. So yes, definitely make some of your grandma's recipes.
Absolutely.
Okay. I think, Leona, what are we forgetting?
Wow, I don't think we've forgotten anything. Let's see, guys. I hope you have your music planned, and I know um, some of you have planned the games because you've been sharing some of the games that you're going to be playing that day.
Hmm.
And so there's lots of entertainment
Hmm.
that has been talked about. Um, I see, Denise, you got a listing for how much to buy.
Yeah, I put up this menu. I kind of looked at the menu we planned,
Mhm.
like what we thought we would get. And I thought about, well,
Mhm.
how much of this or that do people need to get? So I was
Mhm.
trying to think, okay, how much do I get when I'm getting these?
Mhm.
Well, I thought this might give them an idea as to how much they might need to buy. If
Mhm.
you're making your own cranberry sauce, typically the bags they come in are about 12 ounces in a bag.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then fresh herbs like thyme, sage, and
Oh,
rosemary.
yeah.
You can buy them like in the produce section where they refrigerate them in a little pack with like three of the
Mhm.
fresh herbs in there. So, but these are just some things that I thought could come in handy. They could kind of see what they
Oh,
need.
yeah.
And I forgot to put sour cream on here.
Uh,
Everybody always needs sour cream for something.
Now, you got milk, so that includes your regular milk as well as buttermilk if you're gonna
Mhm,
do something that requires buttermilk. And I
mhm.
know we usually do biscuits, so there we would need buttermilk, or I use buttermilk for that. Um, and some
Yeah, just try
I
to see what
you
might.
had mayonnaise, right?
Pardon? Oh, I forgot mayonnaise. Good, you gotta have it for the potato salad.
Yeah, mayonnaise and,
Gotta
pickle
break some
relish.
eggs.
I saw pickle relish, I think.
Nope, I didn't put relish on there either.
Okay,
I
okay.
forgot about that. 'Cause you know what? I never make the potato salad. My sister Lavina always is
Oh.
the potato salad maker in the family.
Uh-huh.
This will be the first year she won't be here for Thanksgiving. She's gonna make
Oh,
it out there.
yeah.
But I thought, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that because
Yeah.
I don't usually make it because she always makes it." There's always one family member that makes the thing.
Yep, yep. And for those of you who plan to do some type of breakfast casserole and you needed a substantial, size, then rather than the 1 dozen, you may need 2 or
Mhm,
an 18 egg pack,
mhm,
so that you have some extra eggs. And, certainly if not only if you're going to, have breakfast for Thanksgiving morning, Black Friday morning, you're gonna want something easy as well, because think about it, that next day, you're going to be tired, even
mhm.
though you have planned and you have done everything you plan to do and executed it as perfectly as possible. And we know you will, but you're going to be exhausted on
Right.
Friday. And so, because of that, typically on that Friday, I usually try to do something that I can throw into the crock pot. I'll do chili or I'll do spaghetti sauce, things that I can prepare in advance, put into a crock pot so that on that Friday, while everybody's watching football or shopping, then whatever it is there available for everyone to eat. And you do not have to hardly step into their kitchen because you're going to have all your paper plates and bowls and whatever, and they can take care of themselves because you have worked the month of
You know what?
November.
I have
Yeah.
certainly when I started using paper plates for the holiday,
Mhm.
was like life-changing. I was like, "Oh, this is so much easier." So
Absolutely.
definitely, definitely, I've just decided from now on, if it's more than 6 people, I don't get out that good china. It's like,
Oh, no. Oh, no. And if I'm gonna have, like I had the little small four-person dinner party. Now we had the china, but, other than that, beyond that, it's gonna be paper plates.
mhm. So Hillary says she's having her 2 sons and her hubby, so supper, will be when she tells them to eat, so no stressing for that, which is pretty good since she's gonna have a small dinner. She can
Yeah.
kinda keep things manageable, and she can just say, "Okay, we're eating at this time." Jeanette has gotten into baked yams and
Mhm.
homemade cranberry sauce, so she puts the sauce on the yams first.
Oh.
She warms them up with a pat of that sounds
Oh,
really
that sounds
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yummy.
And then, Vicky says, "Yeah, mayonnaise, mustard, and sweet relish for the potato
Mhm,
salad.
mhm.
Yam slices on waffle with toasted walnuts.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Cranberry sauce warm and vanilla ice cream on a waffle." I'm getting
Oh,
so hungry.
I know.
Sounds delicious. You know what? I don't do hors d'oeuvres, Michelle. I know a lot of people that do. But
Mhm,
I know like my sister likes to make deviled eggs, but a
mhm,
lot of people will do deviled eggs and veggie trays. But what I found
mhm.
is that my family's just like, look, we just want to eat.
Absolutely, absolutely. They'll stand around, but for the most part, now they will, if someone brings a relish tray, they will kind of pick over it.
Mhm.
And sometimes I know my daughter and I will prepare dips and those kind of things, but
Yeah.
really, they don't eat them until after dinner. They
Yeah.
want dinner. And once that dinner is over, while they're watching football and basketball or whatever that's going to come on, then they'll start to nibble on
Mhm.
those kind of things. So, that's a good idea. Plus, you want them to eat your dinner,
Right.
so you really don't want to fill them up, on the other little things.
Okay. So, what are you guys' Thanksgiving game plan? Let us know what that's going to be, or at least be thinking about what your game plan is going to be so that you can execute it and be comfortable and not be frazzled. You want to be able to enjoy your day. And then do sign up for our email list so you can get our newsletters, our recipes, updates, and more. Leona, why don't you tell them about yours and I will find it. I think I've got it
Okay.
here.
I know you have the website. If you go to the website, it will pop up immediately to ask you to sign up for the newsletter and for the notifications for the website so that you know every time I upload. But it gives you an opportunity to take a look at some of the things I'm thinking about for the week. And usually I'm trying to plan ahead to keep us on track. And as you can see, I've got some recipes that are out there. More recipes are coming, and I have one page that's going to be deployed tomorrow that is going to give you even more information. So the closer we get to the holiday, the more and more you will find that there will be out there. There are quite a few links of things. The timeline is on a link. The grocery list is on a link. And this vegetable lentil soup is delicious. And maybe one of those things that you decide that you want a crock pot of for Black Friday. Now, the cranberry apple stuffing is delicious, and it's so pretty on your table. So keep that in mind. That may be something a little bit different. And macaroni and cheese, that's my mom's macaroni and cheese, and everybody loved her macaroni and cheese. So I'm just saying, it's out there and available to you. So I hope that you will take a look. I hope that you'll be out there and support as we continue our efforts to get us through the holiday and ready for 2024.
Right. So that is Leona's website. And so you guys can check her out there. I've got it in the description box.
Mhm.
And Vicki says these are very helpful. So thank you. We're glad you guys are enjoying this because that's why we do this so that you guys can learn some things that maybe it took us a little while to learn.
Mhm.
And then also, I've got my website.
Mhm.
I can find it right here. So I've got my website that's available as well. And
Mhm.
on it, I've got the menu for, again, my Thanksgiving dinner. And then also some recipes
Mhm.
for, so let's see, here's the menu here. And I just, oh, no, the recipes. Here are the recipes right here. And
Mhm.
here are the little recipe cards for the sweet potatoes, my cornbread dressing, and my mac and cheese. So
Mhm.
you'll notice that, whereas we may make similar items, we don't necessarily make them the same way.
That's
And then
right.
here for Thanksgiving dinner, I just give you a few other tips and tricks. And
Mhm.
again, there's the menu that we put together,
Mhm.
and then some other tips for you. And there's the shopping list that I put together. So just think about that. And you guys be sure to grab those links so that you can connect with us and get those newsletters. And I think everything else is in the description box.
It is. It is ready to go.
Yeah. So do
We
you
are
have
so
blessed?
looking forward to this.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to food. I have got so hungry earlier today just thinking about all this. Like, oh wait, I didn't do that yet. This is for. Oh, and we both have playlists, extensive playlists on our
Mhm.
channel that um for Thanksgiving with all kinds of things. We show you how to make some of these things in videos. So check out both of our channels, which I forgot to link your channel. I'll do that.
Okay. Okay.
I got the website, but it is Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme in the kitchen
No, with Leona Dooley.
with Leona Dooley.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is her YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ebony, Ivy, and Time with Leona Dooley. That's her YouTube channel, and she's got a playlist with all kind of Thanksgiving goodies. And I have the same thing. Now, when I say the same thing, I mean I have a playlist. Our recipes and our playlists are completely different because we cook differently. We're from different
Yeah.
areas, but I think you'll be enjoying whatever it is that we have. So, those of you that just joined us, you're gonna have to catch the replay because we are wrapping the puppy up.
Whew. Oh,
Yeah, I'm
we
sorry.
have worked so hard.
Yes, we have cooked the entire Thanksgiving dinner.
We have in
Have
an
you fed your,
hour.
have you fed your husband dinner?
Huh? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We eat at 5 o'clock on the nose every day.
Okay.
Yeah, every day.
We used to eat at 5 when the kids were home.
Mhm.
We eat at 5 o'clock every day by after school and whatever. But
Uh-huh.
now it's closer to 5:30 or 6. But yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate it. So I'm going to say goodbye. Leona, you want to close us out?
Oh, guys, I am just so excited to be able to be here with you. This is always a great time. Denise and I love, love, love being able to share our many years of experience with you. And certainly, we are not sages on the stage. We're just sharing what we tried and what
You.
works and what doesn't. And
Mhm,
it's always nice to have someone who's willing to do that so that you can maybe try it out and feel comfortable.
mhm.
And so I am certainly enjoying every moment. So anything that we can certainly answer between now and then, shoot it in the comment box. We'll be happy to answer. And with our communities, our people are not bashful. So
No,
if
they
you
are
have
not.
a question, they will jump in. And before I even have a chance to see it, they will have already given you all kinds of answers and helps and
Mhm.
tips along the way, which I love.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to that.
All right. Well, I will see you guys later. So we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye bye.